Good morning. My name is Stephanie Walton.
And I'm Taylor Chang, and we are the co-chairs of the Climate Justice Project. That was almost on point. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whether you carry joy or sorrow in your heart, you are welcome here. All people of goodwill are warmly invited to join us on the great journey of the mind, the heart, and the spirit. If this is your first time with us today, please let the offering basket pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. We hope you will join us for coffee and conversation in the community room after service. We would love to get to know you and answer any questions you might have. You can also visit the information table next to the exit from the community room. On the first and third Sunday of the month, the offering at First Unitarian is donated to an organization from the Denver community, which has been chosen by the Giving in Action team. All cash and checks will be donated in full unless designated otherwise. We will learn about the organization chosen for this Sunday's offering later in the service. If you are looking for ways to engage with our community and support the work of our congregation, please visit the opportunities table at the back of the community room after the service. There are a variety of activities that would welcome more helping hands. We would love to match you with an opportunity that interests you. Please remember to silence your cell phone and other electronic devices. And at this time, I'd like to invite the auction committee up for a little announcement.
This is the ABCs of Joining Hands for Justice auction by Becky Hammond. A, alert, alert, alert. The auction is almost here, April 27th. B, bid online, buy a ticket, if they still have some, by Wednesday. C, come connect, see the Community Champion Award given. D, the deadline for the delicious dinner tickets and online bidding is Wednesday noon. Only a few tickets remaining. See you Saturday. I guess that was ABCD. Sorry.
Thank you for that. I hope to see you all there next Saturday. We are now going to do a land acknowledgement, which is something that the Climate Justice Project does at all of our meetings. So please listen with respect. In order to show respect and honor the Indigenous peoples on the land on which we work and live, we would like to provide this land acknowledgement as a simple way of resisting the erasure of Indigenous histories and working toward honoring and inviting the truth about the harsh treatment and genocide of Indigenous people. First Unitarian Society of Denver would like to honor and acknowledge that the land on which we live and work is the traditional territory of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho peoples, and is historically tied to at least 48 contemporary tribal nations. We honor those who have stewarded this land and these waters throughout generations and recognize that government, academic, and cultural institutions were built on and continue to enact exclusions and erasures of Indigenous peoples. As individuals and as a congregation, we are committed to working to dismantle ongoing systems and legacies of oppression and inequity, and we value the historical, current, and future contributions of Indigenous communities in Denver. In the same way, we acknowledge that our country was built with stolen and forced labor, and the generational wealth which was created by the hands and on the backs of enslaved Africans has been kept from them while enriching others. We acknowledge that our country's economy, infrastructure, and resulting generational wealth would not exist without the free labor produced by chattel slavery, a dehumanizing practice whose social, legal, and economic legacy continue to haunt this country to this day. And finally, I want to frame this morning's service for you a little bit. The Climate Justice Project has been focused this year on looking more closely at water, where it comes from, where it goes, and how we interact with it. When you read predictions about how climate change will impact us here in Colorado and in the Mountain West, there is widespread agreement that the trend is for our environment to become hotter and drier. We are currently experiencing a 20-plus year mega drought that climate scientists agree has been exacerbated by climate change. We are transitioning into a new normal. To adapt to that new normal, we will need to make dramatic changes to our use of water. I doubt this comes as news to any of you. Water, it's easy, even knowing what we know about the changing climate, to take it for granted. Like so many things in the modern world, we are pretty separated in our day-to-day lives of the immediate awareness of where our water comes from, how clean and how safe it is, how much we need and how much we use. We turn on the tap and it's there. The Climate Justice Project has been learning more about the Colorado River specifically, which is the lifeblood of much of the southwestern United States. Ever since John Wesley Powell and his companions, arguably the first European Americans to extensively explore the river, mapped it, its importance to this region has been clear. And as probably all of you know, there simply isn't enough of it to go around. It's over-allocated. 7 states, 30 tribal nations, and 2 countries, more than 40 million people, depend on the Colorado River for their livelihood and their lives. Where it should flow into the ocean, there isn't any water left to get there. And who gets access to the water is, of course, a social justice issue. Does it matter to us here on the Front Range on the eastern side of the Continental Divide, since it flows west? How many of you know that approximately half of the Front Range water supply is diverted from the Colorado River? Anyone? I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago. Yes, half of the Front Range's water is diverted out of the Colorado River watershed through the mountains for us to use. However, today we want to focus not on fears of the future or a commitment to some personal actions to conserve, although absolutely that's important for all of us to consider. Today we invite you to focus on appreciating rivers, the water they carry, and the ecosystems they support, acknowledging their importance to our lives, and how deeply they shape our world in ways we don't even think about. I invite you to come into a space of awe, appreciation, gratitude, wonder, and connection. If any of you have had the extraordinary luck to spend multiple days traveling on a river by boat, by raft, by kayak, your vessel of choice, you know they have personalities. They have quirks, they have unique twists and turns. Have you ever thought about how fascinating it is that a river doesn't flow in a straight line? The nature of time and our relationship is different. It is transformed when you're traveling on a river. So this morning, join us, go with the flow, and let's see where it takes us. And now I invite you to take a moment to greet your neighbors.
Oh, I thought you just said you wanted to use your own. Okay, here we go. Nope, you made a decision. Whoever you are, wherever you are welcome here. Particularly if this is your first or second time joining us, we are glad you're here. Please join me in singing our song of welcome. We are many, we are one. The light of the world is within you. Sacred and worthy is your soul. A place has been made for you. Welcome.
Good morning. we light the chalice with these words from Molly Hausch Gordon. It's called Learning to Love This World. We gather together this morning tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully, like gathered raindrops in a cloud, gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea, and deeply, like groundwater pulled up from the well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, and another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all of creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across this entire world.
Morning, First Unitarian. In your order of service, it says this is a time for all ages, and that's exactly what it is, but I'm going to do this in two parts. One is for the adult part of all ages, and then in a second I'm going to do a part for the children, because you're all in this category of all ages. I want to share with you, I hope you know, that our Director of Religious Exploration, Erin Kenworthy, has resigned. Last Sunday was her last Sunday with us. We are now without a Director of Religious Exploration, and we are in a process of kind of discerning what the future of our religious education program looks like and how we should staff it and so on. I want to share with you a short reading written in 1819 by William Ellery Channing that to me kind of epitomizes the vision that we share for religious education, and these words have been resonating in our tradition for a very long time, obviously. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own. Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own. Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth. Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs. Not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices, but to prepare them for impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subjects may be offered to their decision. Not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought. Not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment. In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul, to excite and cherish spiritual life. That's great stuff. Amen? So we're in this conversation at First Unitarian about the future of our program and what that should look like. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting after one of the Sunday services, and about 20 people came. We had 3 questions we were focused on. What are the core values, teachings, hopes for religious education at First Unitarian? Given all the external driving forces that are out there, and there are a lot of them, and they're tough, what should religious education look like here at First Unitarian, given all that? And how might we, as in us, change the culture of First Unitarian to be truly welcoming of families and children? And I'm not saying we're not welcoming. I'm saying we could do better. I know my parents around here would agree with that. I know this. So, I'm not asking anybody to, agree with me, as always, right? Nothing I ever say from this pulpit implies your agreement with me, or even that you should agree with me. I'm speaking from where I'm coming from. When I call the children up here in a few minutes, as far as I'm concerned, while these children are in this building, they are our children. We're not just borrowing them or anything like that from their parents. They are our children. We are a multi-generational community that includes all ages, including the absolutely smallest ones among us, even when they're driving us nuts, even the ones that have, rainbow-colored mohawks for hair, all of them. If they're here, they're ours. So that's where I'm coming from. Now, could I invite the children to come up here? Hi, Liza. Hello. Come on down, please. So y'all know today is tomorrow is Earth Day. Yeah. So I want to talk to you a little bit about not so much Earth Day, but I want to I want to talk to you a little bit about the earth and some of the stuff that I just think is so cool about the earth. When I was your age, when I was a kid, we had a globe in my house. Do you have a globe in your house? Like a ball about this size that shows all the continents and the oceans of the earth. How many of y'all had a globe in your house when you were a kid? A lot of us, but not you guys. Parents, come on now. A map is good. I was fascinated with the globe because it represented the whole earth, and there was a little dot on it where I lived. I lived in Chicago. But I used to study that thing and look at that thing, and it always curious to me that what they told me was that if I pointed down, what am I pointing at? The ground. And what's under that? The grass. What's under that? Concrete. And what's under that? Magma, down at the center of the earth. And what's on the other side of that? Actually not China. That's a myth. Directly on the other end, if we imagine I'm pointing straight down, is a nondescript spot in the middle of the Indian Ocean west of Australia. Yeah, whoa. Yeah? How old am I? Thank you for asking. How old was I when I was a kid? Well, I was all the ages you get to be as a kid. I survived every one of them. That was your age, and your age, and your age, and your age. And actually, I'm so glad because last Thursday, was my birthday. I turned 63. So you know what I'm actually pointing at right now? The ground. I'm pointing at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, which is totally on the other side of the world. And I used to just think that was just amazing, that I could be here and somebody else could be way over there. But even the people that were way over there were standing upright like I am, and to them, down was still down. Right? And if they had a ball like this and they dropped it, even though they were on the other side of the world, it would still fall down. It would look like exactly what it looks like to me. I just thought that was so cool. It took me a long time to wrap my head around it. So if you're confused by this issue, I don't blame you. It's all good. So, you ever seen one of these before? That's a compass, right? You all know how it works? Do you? And it shows you which direction north. Now here's what I want. Awesome. They have them on their ski jackets. That's awesome. Here's what I want you to notice about this particular compass. There's no batteries. It's not plugged into anything, right? It's just here. And if you stand up and hold that compass, where is north? Well, where's the red arrow pointing? Pointing that way. So that's north. All right? And if you turn around, where's that red arrow still pointing? It's still pointing north. You know what that means? That means there's like this invisible force around the whole planet that you can't see and you can't sense, but this thing can. I think that's really amazing and wonderful and awesome. Here's what else Now, if we imagine, we know that the earth is round, right? And we know that it turns in space, where does the sun come up? Where? Away from the earth and from the earth. I'm not sure quite what to do with that. But the sun comes up where we live, right? The sun comes up in the east, right? So here's what I want you to try and imagine. I want you to do some imagining with me. If you imagine you're on a ball, which you are, and the ball is turning, right? The sun, at least relative to, the sun moves too, but the sun is not moving relative to us. We are moving around the sun, right? And we're turning and going around, right? So if the sun comes up over there, which way is the earth turning? We're moving right now. We're on a ball that's turning. Which way are we turning, and how can you tell? That's a tough question. That's a tough question even for the grown-ups here. But I'll tell you the answer, right? If the sun comes up over there, right, we're turning that way. We're turning towards the east. Right? And when the sun goes down, that sun's not actually going down. We're just turning away from the sun, and it goes, well, that's north, and it goes that way. I just think that stuff is so cool, I can hardly stand it. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So let's sing our children out to their classes.
Would you please rise in body and or spirit? We're going to sing Eel River Chant by Meredith Buck. And you don't need anything. And in fact, the screens behind me are going to go black because you don't even need those. This is all you need. Listen, listen. Listen, 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 listen. Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down in the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Listen. Lose yourself in the meantime. Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down in the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Lose yourself in the meantime. Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down in the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Lose yourself in the meantime. Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down in the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Lose yourself in the meantime. Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down in the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Lose yourself in the meantime.
Lay yourself down on the rocks now. Let your body down on the river. Listen for the drumming on the other side. Lose yourself in the meantime. Listen, 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 listen.
Thanks for singing with me.
Good morning again. I am so excited today. This is the third Sunday of the month, which means we are collecting our offering and contributing that to an organization that is doing great work in the community, and I get to introduce them and then bring up our guests from that organization. So the recipient today is the Sand Creek Regional Greenway Partnership. Yeah. So for those of you who know, Sand Creek runs kind of east-west throughout the metro area and is one of the waterways that is really a part of the landscape we live in right here. And it runs through some of the most polluted zip codes in Denver. We have traditionally not treated it particularly well. And the partnership is doing a lot of work to try and make it better, both taking care of the water that flows through it, the landscape surrounding it, and working with the neighborhoods that it flows through to make it healthier for everybody. We were going to do a volunteer activity yesterday on the Greenway. However, it got canceled because there was too much snow to meaningfully be able to do some pickup, but there will be other opportunities, and I'm really excited to continue that partnership. And now I would like to introduce Mo Fair, the Executive Director, to share a little bit more about what the organization is doing, and please give generously today.
Thank you so much. Good morning. What a beautiful service. Oh, great. Y'all are responsive. What a beautiful service this has been to witness, and the community that has been so graciously accepting this morning. What a beautiful space this is. I'm really excited to be here and to speak about the Sand Creek Regional Greenway Partnership in a very quick and efficient way, I hope. So if you have any questions that I don't answer, I'm going to be here and happy to speak with each and every one of you. The partnership has been around for 24 years, but in 2022, we changed our mission from the development of the space to the preservation and activation of the space. As was told, the 13 miles traverses through very diverse neighborhoods, and many of them are economically and socially underserved. These communities worldwide, but especially in Colorado and the United States, historically have been underrepresented in the outdoor space. And so a lot of our work is meant to encourage these communities to come into the Greenway, but to give them a really healthy Greenway to interact with. And so in order to do that, we have to do habitat preservation, water quality checking, litter removal, so on and so forth. And so we really engage with the community, especially our youth, to build a next generation of diverse stewards. And one of those really exciting projects that we're doing right now is the Greenway Guardians. We're working with 11 youth in Commerce City. They have been empowered to put out an RFP to build a sculpture made out of litter collected directly from the Greenway, which yesterday was the volunteer day, was meant to help collect some of that litter. And the youth are going to be working with an artist to build a sculpture that narrates the impact of litter on our environment. And so today I really ask for you to think about what is our contribution to these communities and to the environment as a whole, especially when it comes to urban corridors like the Sand Creek Regional Greenway. I appreciate you all so much.
There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me, there are more waters rising. This I know, this I know. There are more waters rising. This I know. There are more fires burning. This I know, this I know. There are more fires burning. This I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will wade through the waters when they find their way to me. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will walk through the fires when they find their way to me. I will walk through the fires, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains when they find their way to me. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know.
My beloved, it is hard for me to put into words my love for you, and harder still to disentangle my love from my immense gratitude for all that you provide. My love for you is the love of a part for the whole, the love of an earthworm for the meadow, the love of a raindrop for the river, the love of a cell for the body. Everything I love is made possible because of you and your partner, the sun, and thus my love for you contains all my other loves. For you enable everything. You are a glorious, improbable marvel, most beautiful in your complexity. Harnessing the energy of the sun, you configure, destroy, reconfigure. You are a never-ending process of chaos, creativity, and change, building and sustaining, nesting systems of interdependency and efficiency bound together through a physical, embodied poetry of circles and cycles. Life generating life through color, as when a blossom attracts a pollinator, through music, as when birdsong captivates a mate, and through pleasure, as when a ripe, delicious fruit is consumed to nourish a body. Even your destruction, the consuming flames of wildfire, the violence of a volcanic eruption, the inevitability of death itself, all create new opportunities for life, for growth, and for evolution. You are mysterious, dangerous, dynamic, logical, nurturing, terrifying, balanced, and nothing short of divine. Earth, I love you. Turning to the broader cares and concerns of our community, I wanted to thank the Caring Committee members and everyone involved in Sally Isaacson's memorial service yesterday, and also wanted to note that part of how we care for our planet and the broader web of life is by caring for each other as human beings, and therefore we call for a ceasefire in Gaza and expansion of material support and aid to Palestinians and everyone suffering everywhere. Thank you.
I'd like to take a moment to introduce this song. It was especially requested by Stephanie Walton, and I want to make sure we understand why this is an important song for us to sing today. This song is inspired by the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and all the tribes, nations, native and non-native people coming together to protect the land and water threatened by the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. These words come from Sarah Thompson, the composer. The song came to me on my return from Standing Rock. That morning before leaving, a meadowlark was singing right outside my tent. Be a lark from the meadow, be a lark from this meadow, I heard it sing. We too can be the larks from the meadow. We too can sing in the new day. This piece contains a chorus that is in Lakota. It is Mini Wichoni, which translates roughly to water is life.
All my relations come, every nation come. All my relations are
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Moran. What a beautiful community this is, and the music has been absolutely inspirational. Thank you. This Lakota phrase, water is sacred, that's something we find across indigenous North America, wherever we look. Hopis believe that the water that comes is the ancestors who have passed, and the spirit of the ancestors is carried with the water. So yesterday was a nice auspicious day as the spirits come and the water comes, and we welcome them into our world, and we thank them for coming, and we thank the fresh water. Water cannot be created in a laboratory. You can't put hydrogen and oxygen together, at least not in an efficient way. I mean, technically, you can do it. Someone could do it, but not in a scale that would serve humanity, that would serve the world. If it could have been done, it would have been done by now. The water we have is part of a closed system, and it's been here since the beginning. Where did it come from? It began as a swirling cloud in the Milky Way. How did it get here? That's fun to guess and talk and conjecture and think about. But we know that we are made up of water. We are primarily made up of water. And it's that fresh water from this closed system. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. And it's that knowledge that inspired our indigenous people to care for and steward the water. And I was also so inspired to hear Mo Fair representing this beautiful organization, Sand Creek Regional Greenway Partnership. Of course, that waterway is unfortunately tied to a very painful memory in Colorado's history, a dreadful massacre. And to have an organization that is now stewarding the cleanup and maintenance of that is wonderful and worth celebrating and supporting. So, thank you for inviting me to be here to talk about water, something that I've felt called to and passionate about. I'm a professor of history at Metropolitan State University of Denver, and about 10 years ago, I created a course called Colorado Water and the American West. And it's been a learning process for me. My doctoral training was not water history. And so I've been learning each year and building the curriculum and really seeking out those lessons that I think are most valuable and important. And I can't get away from my training and the place where I grew up. I grew up at Lake Tahoe in the eastern Sierra Nevada. It's this beautiful lake. It's a pristine Sierra snow-fed lake that has clarity, the likes of which doesn't exist in many places on Earth. And I think, having been born there, that water spoke to me as I became. And certainly, as I've grown and become more conscious of water, I return to that place and I see that water and I think about the generations who came. And one of the things that became really important to me was understanding how the Washoe people, who are the first people from a place they called Da'oaga, how they treated and lived with that water. And so I spent time with them. I spent many years working with the community. And when I was writing, I would hand over my drafts to the council, to the cultural council, to their governing council, to their elders council. And I would ask them to reflect and offer feedback on what I was writing. And I learned from them in the process so much, and I spent time with them, and they had a culture camp for children. And I was thinking about this with the children here this morning. There was a culture camp for children on the shore of Lake Tahoe, probably about 15 years ago. And it was wonderful to be there and to see the children playing. And a couple of years after that, I caught up with one of the elders who was there that day, a woman named Melba Rackhow. And she is one of the few elders who is fluent in the Washu language today. And she said, you know, Matt, what was so special about that day at the lake was that the children were speaking the Washu language. And as they approached the lake came to meet them, to greet them, and it was lapping at their feet. And Melba said, and I knew that the lake heard the children speaking Washu, and the lake felt happy. That's at the core of the Washu belief about water, and particularly about Da'oaga, their sacred lake. This belief that the water is living, and they mean that literally. They say water has a consciousness, it has a memory. And so I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to do the same. Think about a time and a place where you have experienced water and it has spoken to you in a way where you know that the water is indeed living. And we're so fortunate to live in a place where the living waters surround us. We're in what's called a headwater state. Much of the water across this vast expanse to our east is supporting, as Stephanie said, 40 million people. And when you cross over the South Platte on Colfax or any of the places you can be close to the South Platte, you realize that we have put this river to work. We've asked so much of this river, and now the time has come for us to say, what can we do for the river? What can we do for the South Platte? And that's something that we also see across the indigenous traditions on the Colorado Plateau. A deep belief that humans should minister to and care for the earth and for the water. When we look at the structure of Pueblo villages, so if we think about the Zuni Pueblo or the Hopi or the Acoma, the Pueblo people living in New Mexico, traditionally they structured their villages in a way that recognized the importance of shrine sites dedicated to water. So at the center of the village sat the plaza, the central plaza, where people celebrated and mourned and did everything that human communities do. And then surrounding the dance plaza were the principal shrine sites. And many of those shrine sites were springs or somehow associated with water, because in the Pueblo worldview, all life started with water. And so each day, each week, each month, and on the high holy days, it was incumbent upon the people to minister to the water, to go to that shrine site and say, we are here, we recognize you've given us life, and we want to support you. And organizations like the Greenway Partnership, the Sand Creek Regional Greenway Partnership, are doing just that. We are coming full circle. We went out of order. As the United States colonized into the Western lands and took over lands that belonged to the indigenous people, we didn't listen to them. We pushed them aside. We thought we knew better. And now, as Stephanie indicated, we're in a 20-year mega drought. We know from the tree ring data and from the oral traditions that these droughts can go on for hundreds of years. And we're looking around saying, we could be in trouble. But there are people who have done this before, who have been through it. The Hohokam on the Salt River, the ancestral Pueblo, places like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon. They didn't disappear when they faced circumstances like drought. They recreated themselves, and they moved, and they renewed their ties to the water. And that's what is, I think, our calling now. And there is no better place than a community like this for us to invest ourselves and to remind ourselves that each of us is primarily water. We come from water, and if you subscribe to the Hopi worldview, you return as water. So the question now in front of us is not what can water do for us and our economic needs or our social needs. The question is, what can we do for water? And what a lovely opportunity to celebrate water here today with you and the music, the Eel River chant. I was thinking, my beautiful wife Aaliyah, whose eyes are like water, we lived in Northern California, and the Eel River forms this blue ribbon, a strand through the emerald towering redwood trees. And we'd drive for an hour into the forest, and we'd find these little sandbars, nobody else around, and the Eel River would quietly pass by. And it was so deep, and it was so emerald green and beautiful. It was a place to commune with the water, and for the water to speak to me and our growing family. And so it's with great joy and also a sense of responsibility that I spend time with you this morning. And I wish you all very well in your relationship with water. I know mine continues to grow on a daily basis. This summer, as you start to get out into the Front Range, you'll see water gurgling and burbling and spilling and singing and raging and tempestuous and all of its various forms. And we can remind ourselves, there's the Ancient One. There is what gave us life. There is what is inside each and every one of us. So thank you for allowing me this time this morning. It's been my pleasure.
Would you please rise in body and or spirit and join me in singing out of the Teal hymnal if you want to follow along with the music, number 1064. Otherwise, the words will be on the screens behind me. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way through the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathom The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home.
Please join me in singing our closing affirmation.
Behind all our differences and beneath our diversity, there is unity that makes us one, binds us forever together throughout all time, through life and death, and the space between the stars, throughout all time, through life and death, and the space between the stars.
Our benediction today comes from Linda Hogan, the Chickasaw poet. River singing, we reigned from the water of our mothers, born to the river passages of each life. We grew up from the cradle of a river, the sweetness of the taste of spring when rains arrive. And the river enters trees in the first turn of green, our lifeblood traveling to the unknown bends of tomorrow. Tributaries, arteries, veins, we are the river, sometimes weeping, sometimes laughing in this brief life, and we can't help it, but we love other waters, opening glorious into one another. The world, the waterways we are, travel in ways you can't tell from others. The heart of earth beats gently, but the song of a river is carried even under the ground, in its own heart set on great ocean waters. Some days I wonder how anyone is content on plains, on mountains, but then doesn't water live everywhere beneath our feet as it journeys from one holy site to another? Our service is ended. Go in peace.